Meanwhile, for the first time in weeks, the number of COVID-19 hospitalizations is trending in the right direction. Doctors are seeing the number of hospital cases level out. Stephanie Whitfield explains why experts say we still are not in the clear just yet.
Every day, the Texas Medical Center shares its data about COVID-19's impact in the Houston area. For over a week, the number of people needing hospital care has leveled out, even gone down slightly. The trend is promising, but not unexpected. Hospitalization numbers tend to lag a couple weeks behind testing data. TMC showed a dip in testing trends in early July. The problem is those numbers jumped back up after Independence Day. So health officials like Houston Methodist CEO Mark Boom are watching to see if hospitalizations go up again.
We're looking at these next few days as, really wondering, are we going to see the data come back up? Is this a temporary lull, or is this the beginning of something really good? So we're watching that very closely, and certainly hoping and praying that it is the beginning of a nice decline.
Right now, TMC's normal ICU capacity is full. Half are COVID-19 patients. We're told there are hundreds of surge capacity beds still available in Houston's most prominent hospitals. Stephanie Whitfield, KHOU 11 News.